Everyone wants to be an investment banker until they become one, or they watched Wolf of Wall Street at the age of 12 and thought that's what IB is. Welcome to the real world of investment banking analysts, or as I like to call it, the glorified, overpaid graphic designer who thinks this job will finally help him get girls because all he can offer is money. If you're a finance bro in denial, or a delusional college sophomore who thinks Goldman Sachs is going to change your life, sit down, shut up, and let's get real. You graduate top of your class. You jack off to excel. You've read Monkey Business and Shit Post on Wall Street Oasis. You make the markets your entire personality because you think that's what will impress the banks. You think you're going to be working on billion-dollar mergers. You even start practicing saying things like, "We're advising on a strategic acquisition in the aerospace sector," while taking mirror selfies in your $45 Zara suit. Reality check. You spend 14 hours a day adjusting font sizes in pitch decks for a deal that's never going to close. The only thing you'll be advising is whether to use Times New Roman or Arial 11 point. You're not a financier. You're a formatting monkey. You live and die by footnotes, spell check, and the art of making bar charts sexy. 90% of your job is formatting PowerPoint slides like your life depends on it, because it literally does. Financial analysis. Fuck off. You mean pulling pre-baked numbers from CapEQ and praying the profit margin matches the last deck because you were too tired to double check. Your job is as hard as me making these videos with AI, except it takes me about 10 minutes to pull off instead of 100 hours. You walk into the bullpen, and it's Patagonia vests as far as the eye can see. Everyone's chugging LaCroix and dry shampooing in the bathroom because you haven't gone home since Tuesday. And then comes the dick measuring contest. Every analyst thinks their bank is the best. BOA bros roast JPM kids. Barclays analysts act like they weren't bullied through all of high school, which they were. This is literally a playground for insecure overachievers. And don't forget the I party because I'm stressed arc, or work hard, play hard phase. Cocaine, not because it's fun, but because you thought it'd make you look cool to that one associate who still listens to Diplo and has a deviated septum.
Breaking news.
The worst part, they think this is normal. Like, you'll hear someone say, "Yeah, I only got 4 hours of sleep last week, but our league table ranking went up, so it was worth it." Buddy, you're 24, you look 37. And if you think that's where it ends, let me introduce you to the single most cursed story in finance history, Sage Kelly, the pimp of Wall Street. This guy was a top rainmaker at Jefferies. He was so committed to closing deals that he, allegedly, pimped out his own wife to clients, like literally offered his spouse as a client engagement strategy. And I'm not talking about in the ha-ha finance bro exaggerates kind of way. I mean actual tabloid headlines, court documents, NY Post full-page insanity. Google it. The man's LinkedIn probably still says experienced in managing client relationships, and honestly, yeah. Though, looking at photos of her, maybe his strategies backfired. You go in thinking you're a deal-making prodigy, and 6 months later you're nodding like, yeah, that makes sense. You gotta do what you gotta do to close. Banker culture is just a series of fever dreams stitched together with cocaine and deal toys. Let's talk about health. After your first year, you either have hemorrhoids, liver damage, or a therapist who just nods while you cry about slide 37 not printing in color. Want a real story? An intern once slept with an MD and still didn't get the full-time offer. Meanwhile, another MD literally took a stack of resumes, tossed the top half in the trash and said, "I don't hire unlucky people." Let's talk money. You're pulling $150,000 out of college, sure, but divide that by the 110-hour weeks, and congrats, you're making less than the barista who spelled your name Bran for the 3rd time this week. Engineers coding world-changing apps. You changing line spacing and crying in the stairwell. Your college roommate works at Google, makes $180,000, lives in daylight and thinks you've joined a cult. But it's fine, you're a big swinging dick in your tiny little PowerPoint-scented pond. So why do people keep joining investment banking? Simple: trauma, validation, and LinkedIn clout. Also because some career counselor once told them it opens doors. Usually to a therapist's office or a bar at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. And maybe, just maybe, you think one day you'll become an MD where you finally get to scream at analysts about margins you haven't understood since your BlackBerry stopped sinking. But the real plot twist, banking isn't even the dream, it's just the suffering prelude. A sadistic boot camp you endure in hopes of making it to private equity or hedge funds, where the hours are just as bad, but now you're building the same Excel model with fewer fonts and slightly more expensive cocaine. You tell yourself it's just 2 years, then it becomes 3. Then you realize PE won't take you, hedge funds don't recruit from your bank, and the only exit op you're getting Is FP&A at a logistics tech startup that just laid off half its staff and gives stock options worth about $19. But hey, at least you've got a Patagonia vest with your bank's logo, 3 caffeine addictions, and a lifelong distrust of bullet points. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the most glorified typing job in America, hit that like button, subscribe for more financial delusions, and share this with that one friend who still thinks banking is cool. And remember, never trust a man in loafers who says synergies unironically. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a deck to update because the MD wants to change one comma again.